So this plane, I don't think will ever be on the store again. I think Italy has their own version. It's the BF-109 G-2, same plane, but it's the Italian. Now Germany had the BF-109 G-2, the Romanian one. It was I believe it was a pack on the store that you could buy. It's like the Romanian pack. So you would get the BF-109 G2, and you would also get the HS-129B2. So I think it was a pack, you got these two, and then you may have gotten the tank. It was way back when they used to have that pack. So I remember this was on sale a couple years ago or something like that, and it was like $10. So I picked it up. I thought, oh, okay, it might be alright. I don't know if it'll be great, but I kind of stored it away, and then recently I started taking it out, and I have to say, it is probably the most fun premium out there, I would have to say, argue-wise. I know I talked about the G55S, how that was kind of fun to play, but the thing is you gotta look at BRs. The higher the BR you go, like the more skilled people generally are, and the problem is when you get higher, then it kind of gets from more I'm just trying to relax, kick back, and just fly around and shoot stuff to more like, oh, you gotta be serious, you gotta be tactical, stuff like that. So 4.3 BR is actually a very nice BR. It's, usually your competition is gonna be ranging here for the USSR. It's planes that normally you can handle. And yeah, that BR is very, very solid, very fun to play at. It's actually a really good BR. And he plays at 4.3, even the P47, I mean, yeah, but typically the German planes, I like the BF-109 G2 just because it's a good BR, it's a good plane. If you haven't gone off the BF-109 texture yet, like the G2 down that way, it's basically a tech tree version of the G2, but it plays very, very well. So just to go in brief modifications wise, you can mount a whole different type of weaponry. So you can have 4 50-pound bombs. I guess if you want to go into ground forces and take it out. I don't know why you would use this as a ground pounder. 250-pound bomb, and then the main selling point here is the cannons. You get 2 20mm cannons, which is going to be located right here, and that is what I recommend taking out. It just adds more firepower, and it actually doesn't really affect the aircraft that much. Modifications too is your nose. You have a 20mm cannon in the nose. So basically this plane, pro-wise, well, it's a BF-109, so BF-109s generally are very, very good aircraft for climbing. They're very good at performing at high altitudes, booming and zooming. Generally, they're a really good, solid aircraft to take out, especially at the 4.3 BR. If you get a later BRs, then they're kind of like, but I know the BF-109K, she does pretty well at 5.7. Another place, like I said, pro is a weaponry. You get 20mm in the nose, 13mm machine gun. No, actually a 7.92. Correction. So still, you have a lot of firepower. So head-ons, you're going to win those. Basically, too, it's a pretty sturdy aircraft. You can take a few hits from 50 cals. And con-wise, I would say is of course turning. This isn't a turn fighter, so. Voila. Another thing is engine, and that's always going to be a problem on some props, especially this. If you try to put in the throttle to 100, you're going to have to baby the engine. And like I said, babying an engine in a prop kind of gets annoying. This one you have to be careful about, because if you push it too hard in the beginning of the match, you're going to feel it later. So without further ado, let's go into the gameplay. Okay, so here I am playing on a desert map. Basically with this is that this is going to make the engine be a little more prone to overheating. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, is watching the engine as we go on. And I get a flyby by friendly aircraft at the beginning of the match, which kind of took me aback. I was like, oh, hopefully they didn't ram us. That would have been bad. So let's go to my point of view. So we're taking off right now. Like I said, anytime, any prop match, you want to go and climb. Depending on what your plane is and the capabilities of your plane. If you're a boom and zoom plane, kind of like a P47, BF-109, Focke-Wulf, even P-51s, you want to climb. Normally there are other planes that want to perform at low altitude. Like I said, the Italians do really well at that. Then they go to low altitude, and then that's when you got to figure out your plane first. So, like I said, I'm going to speed this up here just because it's always the first part of the battle is climbing, and climbing is generally something when usually people just go open up another tab, have another tab opened up, and you'll be chilling over there looking at that and doing whatever, and then coming back to the match. So that's one con with prop matches. It's just, it takes a while to get up there to start fighting. It's usually like 2 to 5 minutes before you start actually engaging people. And like I said, flying up here at this altitude, I'm not really going to see a lot of people yet, because at 4.3 BR, kind of a lower BR like this, a lot of new players kind of like to hit the ground. So there's going to be a lot of teammates down there just dogfighting it out. I was debating whether to go down there or not, but I also checked the scoreboard and I saw we have way more people on their team, so I don't want to like dive down too early, because I've had experiences doing that and it just doesn't end too well. So the P-59A is kind of what I'm trying to aim for here, and that's it's like a tier 4 reward jet. Basically, it's a prototype jet that the United States made, and yeah, they kind of had it out there as a reward vehicle. So my aiming is kind of bad. So I was like, I'm not going to turn fight with them, because also another thing too is to always look into the vehicles that are coming out or vehicles that are out. And the P-59A is a really, really, really good turn fighter for some reason. You want to think so because of its size, but actually it is. So in this predicament here, technically I should have been shot down just because of the way I maneuvered myself there, and P-59 kind of had a really, really actually good retention, could have shot me down easily. But I'm going through the clouds using the cloud coverage. I guess his pilot isn't that skilled or maxed out with the crew points, because he didn't really even bother trying to follow after me. So I'm going to turn around here just so I can get another shot on him. Like I said, though, he's very maneuverable, surprisingly, even though the frame doesn't look like the aircraft would be like that. So yeah, I have to be careful of him. He's a low BR jet, so I don't want to get into turn fighting or anything like that. And I'm using the boom and zoom tactics. So I climb, I dive, and then I climb again, and I repeat the process. So I'm going to try and line up my sights here, and yeah, he starts turning. He's experienced, he knows what he's doing, so I won't be able to do anything on him. If he kept flying straight trying to go after my friendly, then I probably would have had a better shot at taking him out. So I just have to be careful again. He looks like he's trying to do a turn, trying to come back at me. I'm going to do the same thing. But the thing is, I know I got the firepower to take him on. I believe he has 50 cals, but there's only so many, some in the nose, I believe. But his caliber, the way he was shooting at me with the 50 cals, they weren't that much of a threat in my opinion, just because the amount of rounds that were coming out. Like, that's really not a lot of 50 cals coming out of the nose. So, like I said, the 20mm just destroy. And you can just see that right there in the head-on. I just took him out. And, yeah, like I said, it only took a little bit of damage, but that was from before when he was chasing after me. So, I don't really have to worry about that. Now, P-51 shot down our fellow Focke-Wulf. Now he's coming around to try to go for us in the head-on. And like I said, this is where the head-on actually works, like you flip on, there you go, there goes his wing. So I thought that would have taken him out, but no, he's still going. He's actually going to fly all the way down and still manage to retain his aircraft, fly back to the airfield. So I was like, okay, is he actually going down? No, he's actually still flying. So I'm just going to go after him. He's just missing one piece of his wing, and he's still managing to hold the aircraft. So I'm going to start diving down here, and this is when I start having problems with the engine, and it's just the overheating part. And like I said, if you use it too much early in the match or kind of push it, then you're going to feel it later. And that's the one problem I started noticing here too, is as I lowered my speed or lowered my engine power, it still took a while. And then earlier in the match when it would easily go down, it actually took a while here. So yeah, my big concern was just that my teammate's up there, so yeah, he's probably going to come down here and swoop on this guy, so I just have to be a little careful. And I was just going to go and well, I already took this guy out, took his wing out, it's time to just basically take him out. So we start shooting my 7.62 at him and trying to pop some shots off. And I was thinking that those rounds would be enough, but I decided to throw some 20mm into it just to take him out. And I'm leading my shots and sparking on him a little bit, and then he just blows up. So all it takes is one to hit it. So now what we're doing is I'm debating on whether to head back or not. We have one more plane in play, and we're trying to figure out, okay, it's a bomber, but we don't know where he is. So this is one of the things, the War Thunder has these orders. You can activate them to basically give you an advantage. Not really an advantage, but sort of sometimes an advantage. in battle or with war. It's basically a competition. So one of these is called Blind Hunt. And Blind Hunt, you usually get it through the daily roulettes or whatever, but you activate it, it basically reveals someone that's usually hiding, or there's usually one person left alive, no one knows where the heck they are. Then you activate Blind Hunt, and it kind of just makes the match go quicker and end it faster, because sometimes you get people that like to fly up to high altitudes, and yeah, it just drags the match out. So knowing that, I have a lot of orders for Blind Hunt, so I was like, okay. I was thinking that he may be at the airfield just because, you know, it's a bomber, but no, actually it wasn't at the airfield, and he's actually right here right now, chilling, flying very low altitude. So yeah, I thought we would I was actually expecting him to be at the airfield, but no, I activate Blind Hunt, and there he is right now. And this is going to be a funny part of the video. I guess a lot of my allies just decided, hey, let's go for him, but they didn't account for where he was and how fast they were going. Because if you notice, you'll start seeing my allies just start crashing like, for whatever reason. Yep, so he goes down. I do a flyby pass, so I go past him, and then we got more of my allies crashing. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to start shooting at him, shooting at his tail. And like I said, I already shot his tail, but I'm out at like 20 millimeters. Now I got like the 7.62, so that's not going to do a lot. Two of my allies crashed into the ground, and it's just like, okay. So yeah, there goes that B-17. He's flying. There are two remains of my allies in the grounds because they crashed. And I'm going to go speed up his death. So yeah, here he is just chilling right now. And he's about to go down just because he lost his tail. He lost his tail, lost control of his aircraft, so now he's just going to fly down. And I'm going to just fly by him, make sure he's dead. And he's all bouncing on the ground now because he's a dead B-17. So yeah, but no, that was a great match. Plane performed really well. I liked it, and I'll give my final thoughts in the last section of the video. So if you want my two thoughts, this basically is a very, very good premium. It's a very rare one, so I don't think you'll ever see it in Germany. But in Italy, you will have the BF-109 G-2, and it's 4,640 Golden Eagle. So it's gonna be a little pricey. But basically, what the benefits are here is that you can research the whole tree. It's a very good BR to play, not the whole tree, but get up basically to tier 4. And it's fun to play. It's a great plane to play. I've had a lot of fun with it. I can't really say anything bad about it. You just play to its strengths and it will perform. So that concludes this video.